Okay, so day 2, your starter should have quite a lot of bubbles in it. If it's nice and active. If there's not a lot of bubbles in it, don't fret. Maybe there's no bubbles in it, and that's okay too. Once it doubled or a little more, you could have fed it again, or you can put it in the fridge to kind of slow down the feeding process, which is okay. I put mine in the fridge last night. It's nice to take it out a little bit before you feed it, but it doesn't always fit into your schedule, so that's okay. So this is a little bit cold. That's fine. It'll just double a little bit slower. So I'm not going to double this whole amount because I don't need that amount doubled. You just need to feed some. So I'm going to take some out. I don't want to double all of it because you keep doubling and doubling, and then it gets a little bit crazy with the amount. So people call it discard, the part that they're not doubling. Some people throw it away, which is why it's called discard. I think that's crazy because there's a lot of things you can do with it. You can make biscuits, you can make pizza dough, you can make all kinds of things. You just can't make bread because bread needs freshly risen fresh starter. Okay, so the amount of starter I want to feed is about, let's say about 150 grams. The rest I'm not going to double, okay, because I just don't need that much. So I'm going to measure out 150 grams of starter. Of course, you could double the whole thing, but at some point it just gets to be too much. Okay, so I'm going to double. How much did I say? Let's do 100. Oops. It's sticky, that's okay. Okay, so there we have 100. So this is the amount that I'm going to double. So that's going to need 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour. But the rest of it, it's enough. So what I tend to do, I put it in another container, and that container just stays in my fridge until I want to make, like I said, something like biscuits or pizza or something, any recipe that calls for unfed sourdough starter or sourdough discard. You can use this stuff for, and it can be good in your fridge for a week or more. Okay, so I'll put that aside, and that goes in my fridge. So this I'm going to double. Again, I zero my container because I don't want to be measuring my container. This is my 100 grams of starter. Okay, 100 grams of starter. So then I need 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. You'll see, zero that again. You'll see some recipes call to a ratio of 1:2 or 1:155. That's okay as well, but I do 1:1:1. Okay, so that was 100. So now I want 50 grams of flour. Okay, there's 50 grams of flour. Now I want 50 grams of water, and this, like I said, I'm using tap water because this is good tap water. You can use spring water as well. Okay, so I zero it again. If you're concerned that you aren't very good at measuring, obviously you can't take back water once you pour it in. You might want to measure it into another container first. There's 50. And then just as before, stir this up, make sure the flour is all hydrated, and then put your cover on so it doesn't dry out. Leave it on your counter until it's doubled. You can put a marker there again. And then, same as before, put it back in the fridge if your room is quite warm, or you can leave it out. You can feed it twice a day, once a day, or once a week or 2 weeks if you're not going to use it for bread or if you don't need more starters. That's it. Just keep repeating the same thing until you have enough starter to do what it is you need to do.